All right, Darren, so we are trying to have these conversations around answering the question, what does it mean to live as a follower of Jesus in the financial industry?
Yes.
There's a lot of pressure around numbers, quotas, benchmarks, closing deals, and as a result, those can be metrics of success. And what I found in my own experience is that when I'm chasing some of those metrics on the scorecard, and those become the only things I'm chasing as a measure of my value, they often leave me feeling empty or burnout or unfulfilled, because I know they're not really designed to fulfill me, but it's the chase or the illusion. And we know the financial wholesaler world is given to that. I don't know if you've ever experienced that in your own way.
Absolutely. This is real. We live in a land of measurables as a financial wholesaler, and if you reach them, you get accolades from your colleagues. If you don't reach them, you're off in your corner saying, "What did I do now? How do I get out of this?"
Yeah.
But even if you get accolades from your colleagues, if you met your measurables and you exceed them, it's kind of like, now what?
Right.
Now what do I do?
Yeah.
Then again, along the journey of going after, we all have in the Lord's book, there's journeys.
Sure.
And in the journey, there's distractions. And so these distractions are real in the financial wholesaler world. And the distractions could be feeling empty, could be tired, could be lonesomeness, could be lack of self-worth, could be too many people judge you for measurables that really aren't meaningful for life, all the above. But yes, so many times in 40 years I had the privilege out there, you just kind of, look in the mirror and go, I feel a little empty.
Yeah.
I'm a little tired, even though I was successful, and times I wasn't, but I'm tired. I don't know where to go.
Yeah, and I think as a follower of Jesus, or as followers of Jesus, I think it comes down to just in the journey of us trying to navigate our spiritual life in front of the Lord. How do we stay connected? Thomas Merton makes that quote that he says, we can spend our whole lives climbing the ladder to success, only to realize when we get to the top, it was leaning against the wrong wall.
Oh gosh, so true.
So
true.
I
How many
think,
times does that happens?
Yeah,
it happens a lot. It happened to me. It happens to others.
Yeah, and I think that's what we're trying to just get at. Jesus says, no, there's a right wall when you become a follower of Jesus. And if you lean the ladder there, everything else will work out. There's a level of fulfillment that can't be met by the world's way. And so today we wanted to look at John 15. And it's really the whole chapter, but starting just in verse 1. And in verse 1, he says this, I am the true vine, and my Father is the gardener. I love that. I'll read it again, but he says, I am the true vine, and my Father is the gardener. Now, I'm reading this in the NIV. You have the NLT, but what does your verse say there? How does it read, John 15:1?
First verse reads, I am the grapevine, and my Father is the gardener.
Yeah. And I think what I'm stuck on is just what I wanted to talk to you about is the fact that Jesus is saying, I am the true vine.
Right.
And my Father's the gardener. But this idea of the true vine, which Jesus is basically saying, listen, guys, there's only one true life source. If you think about a vine and you think about the branches, in the grapevine world or in a vineyard, the vine is the life source and the branch that's attached to it. And what Jesus is trying to say is, hey, I'm the only life source out here. And if you will stay connected to me, then we know will produce fruit, because that's where this passage goes on. But if you don't stay connected to me, obviously life doesn't work out. You end up empty, wishing and wanting. How is it difficult, or what are the challenges that we might find as financial wholesalers in staying connected to the true vine? What does that really mean? Because clearly Jesus is saying that for a reason to his followers. Listen, I'm the true vine, which means there may be a lot of other vines out there, but I'm the true life source. How do we stay connected? What are some thoughts that you get resonating to that passage? Just right off the bat, you've been in the financial wholesaling world for a long time. Is that relevant?
The initial thought that comes to my mind from my experience and also my colleagues is that in a true vine that grows with the proper source of nutrition, there's time for bearing fruit. And in this case, the Lord will come and prune the vine so we can bear more fruit.
Sure.
And pruning is not a negative scenario. It's an opportunity to grow. So in the financial wholesaling world, our practice of staying connected to the vine during distractions, bearing fruit during that hard time that you may be kind of challenged with your thought process and your commitment, knowing that, this pruning process is going to take place and I'll bear more fruit as long as I stay connected with my values with the Lord. Because the Lord is saying, if I remain, good things happen in fulfillment of my life. If I don't remain, kind of on my own journey. And we all know that our own journey is that kind of can be empty.
Yeah.
Unless we bring our power source of the Lord with us, which and when we bear fruit, everyone around us benefits from that fruit.
Yeah.
That's the key. Everyone benefits, our family, our health, our children, our community benefits from the fruit. So we are a catalyst of everyone starting to benefit from that pruning process, but we got to stay connected. This is so valuable.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's important for me because I can be really driven to perform. And so what starts out in the quiet place or the secret place, maybe another way to say what starts out in my connection with Jesus, in my prayerful, times in Bible and prayer. I get excited about that. And then I can start running out ahead and forget the things that actually got me to that place in the first place, which is just simply a connection. It's not anything more than that. Like if I remain connected, everything else works out. But how quickly I could make a subtle shift where, no, actually it all depends on me again. My effort is the thing that produces. And so it comes down to where I'm not plugged in to the right life source. Have you ever had that moment where, your phone's completely dead, maybe it's even died, you plug it in thinking you plugged it in, but it's not actually plugged in, and you don't realize that until the next morning and your phone's still dead and you look at the cord.
Yes.
It's not connected.
Correct.
Right?
Right. There's a wonderful phrase, the best leap you take is a leap of faith. And the leap of faith in knowing that you're staying connected during these times and challenging times in our financial industry, which is probably full of more distractions than any other, professional in any other industry, because we're multiplying our echoes through many different handshakes and people every day. And to stay connected during those times of making sure that your faith is intact and knowing that that vine is growing and going to be pruned on your behalf and those around you. I just feel as though when I do really well with faith and being connected, everyone around me does even better.
Sure.
And that's just a glowing result of what the Lord wants for us.
Yeah.
The community to be built and rise with everybody's success.
Yeah. So what can we do about this, right? This is where it all lands down. I am the true vine, Jesus says, and my Father's the gardener. What can we do about it? I think there's some effort we can make to just ask ourselves, where am I drawing my life source from? If I'm receiving my life from the things around me that are external, and I'm not drawing that life from the voice of the Lord in my life, getting His wisdom and peace, then that may be just the indicator. I need to shift back and get reconnected.
Good point. Before any engagement of a large audience, I always pray to the Lord, and then giving me strength to stay connected. And then after the presentation, thank the Lord for giving me the strength to perform the way He wanted me to in front of that audience. Whether it was good, bad, and different by anybody's judgment, it was the best I had at the time given to me by the power of the grapevine. Yeah. Right? So it's a practice that I utilize every time before I speak to a couple people, more than a couple people at once. And then during the day, it's obviously unplugged time, morning or evening, and making sure before I enter my house of loved ones that I have the power of the Lord to continue on.
That's awesome. So financial wholesalers, we know the work that you're doing is sacred. It's important, meaningful work. You're advancing the kingdom in the world that you're currently assigned to, and we just want to encourage you today to stay connected to the true vine. At the end of the day, that's what matters. That's where your life comes from.